Hello there, today I have LEGO Transformers animated Megatron in his attack helicopter mode thingy. So here he is in his, like I said, attack helicopter mode thingy. Not exactly sure what this thing is supposed to be, but I think it's accurate, so yeah. It is kind of angled a little bit, it's just due to how, I guess it's more heavy up here, but yeah, there's not really much I can do about that. I don't think it looks that bad anyway. So, yeah. This mode is definitely pretty big, as you can see. Almost doesn't even fit in the frame, but it's accurate, so, yeah. He also is on a stand, just so that he is level with the ground when I'm showing him off. And as I spin him around like this, as you can see, he is a pretty solid build, structural-wise. And, I think it's a pretty good build overall, actually. Not a lot of flaws, and if there are, I will point them out. But one thing I wanted to point out about his wings is that it was definitely hard to get these to stick up straight, as you can see right here. This one keeps flopping over. It's just the weaker side, because it didn't have enough strong clips to keep these things up, because normal clips weren't going to cut it. There was too much weight, so they would have just kept falling down, as you see over here. So yeah, very lucky to find those clips. But yeah, these sections also don't transform properly, but I just think it's just cleaner this way, and I couldn't figure out a way to make it transform otherwise. Propeller blades, they do also spin around, as you can see. The blades are definitely fragile because they are on one stud connections, so you do have to watch out for that. But they do swivel all the way around, as demonstrated. Another thing about this mode is that you can take the gun off. Hopefully it doesn't break. And then, well, this side already did it since it's the weaker side. Just move the wings down, straighten them out, swivel it all the way to the back. Then with this stud right here, just attach it to an anti-stud on the back. And wouldn't you know, now animated Megatron has turned into Transformers Prime Megatron. So yeah, this is just a fun mode that I found while messing with the figure. It's not intentional, but it actually works really well in my opinion for the Prime Megatron, at least in the shaping department. But yeah, there you go. That's a mode that this thing can do. I also don't know if I call this animated or Prime Megatron, but just to be sure for the record, this is the Prime Megatron fan mode thingy. Okay, so this is weird because I haven't done the animated Bumblebee tutorial yet. Well, I have, but the video at the time of this review coming out hasn't come out on the channel yet. So if you don't want spoilers for Bumblebee or what he looks like, then I guess skip ahead. But this is the scale for everything else. Because I built Bumblebee first, reviewed him first, and then I built Megatron, and now I'm reviewing Megatron, and I still have Bumblebee. So it's kind of weird. But skip ahead if you don't want to see Bumblebee, but I'm going to reveal him right now if you don't really care. So yeah, that's how they scale with each other. Here's TFA Megs with Hasbro stuff. I almost forgot about McDonald's Megatron, but they're nowhere near each other's scale. Vehicle mode is 30 studs long. And wingspan is like 22 studs long about. And the vehicle mode is about, that's wrong. And the vehicle mode is about 10 or 10 and a half studs tall. Alright, now we're getting to the transformation, which is definitely going to be interesting. So let's just start off with popping off the weapons. So the blades obviously come off and they become his swords. So just pop those off. And you know, while you're at it, just move the blades in the same upward direction and then just squeeze them together if they want to stay on. Just like so. Or, yeah, you have to move the clip down a little bit so that they can actually squeeze. And now, there we go. And basically that, this little clutching mechanism, I don't know, it keeps the sword stable, so yeah, it does that, and you will actually be holding it like this, and that will not be very effective. So this is actually how it should be. Oh, my hand is shaking, wow. Once you've taken the swords off, of course, going to take off his fusion cannon. So you can set that off to the side. Now he just looks really tiny without those things. Maybe that's just me. But, oh yeah, next thing you're going to do right here now, I guess, is lift this section up. Swivel these panels forward. Just like so. And then, yeah, just leave it like that. And I guess you'll just move these sections all the way up like so. You're just going to leave that like that for now. Hopefully the lighting isn't too horrible. But actually we can take the stand off since he doesn't really need it anymore. Next thing you're going to do, you know what, why not just get the arms out of the way. Just take them out like so. Swivel around, and yeah, that's the arm done. Alright, let's actually, now that we're trying to get the arms into place, just swivel these sections around on the stud connection so that you can disconnect these bars and clips. Just like so. It disconnects on its own. Not right here, definitely not. And so once you properly disconnected those sections, just move this section all the way out. And then move the arms forward. And you know what, it'll just be easier with that section being off. As always. But the next thing you're going to do, sew this thing to the side and then down like so. To the side. And down like so. That'll give you enough clearance to swivel this section all the way around. And then, once you've done that, put the arms back into place. Move this section down. Hold it in like so. Down. Just like so. And then all those ball joints. Swivel it all the way around. And then collapse onto the back, hopefully without popping his head off. But, yeah. There you go, that's the backpack done. Actually mostly done. And you're gonna move the arms back out of the way again. And then you're just gonna move this section all the way back up here. Move the clip, and you're just going to hug this onto the backpack like so, because as you can see, the backpack does like swiveling around due to transformation. So after these sections have already clipped into the legs and vehicle mode for stability and less floppiness, they will have a second purpose in robot mode, which is keeping the backpack in place, which I think is really neat. So same thing on the other side. Alright, so once again, just because this is so much easier, let's just do this section separately from the body. So the next thing you're going to do is detach this section. Shouldn't come out like that. Not sure why it continues to come out like this, but this pin, if it wants to come back out, it's supposed to come out like this on either one of the sides, not the entire pin being out. So yeah, that's how it should come out. Reattach that. That's just so you can disconnect this section for stability and vehicle mode. And now you can just continue moving that section down, unless it was already down. Already down. Okay. But on some these knots, you're going to move these sections out like so. Hello. There we go. And then swivel it around like this, and it should look kind of weird. And then you're gonna swivel the thigh. So that section down like so, or to the side more like. And then for this section, out, focus, down, shift it to the middle, and then this section will kind of just find its way around. Once it's found its way around, to swivel it onto the side again, move it down, move that section up, that becomes the heel of the foot. And then just so this thing doesn't keep flopping around, this section right here, swivel all the way around, and just rest on there like so, so that it is stable. And then to straighten out his knees, you're going to bend it at this angle right here, because you don't want to put it exactly in the middle, because it will prevent his knee bend. So you're going to bend it to about here, then push it to the side so that it collapses next to this black robot hand if it wants to focus. Alright, and once it collapses next to that robot hand, then that's when you straighten the leg out, and yeah, that's one of the legs done. And here is Megatron in his base massive robot mode. And let's just attach his fusion cannon, because it wouldn't be Megatron without his fusion cannon. Simply tabs in like so. And yeah, now here's, whoa. Good thing though, the only thing that really broke was his backpack, because he is a pretty stable figure. So just reattach that like nothing happened. But yeah, we're back. His backpack's back on, and here he is in his robot mode, and it looks pretty good. I tried to get all the proportions right. I think I got them pretty accurate. His hands are definitely a little bit too big, but I think for the build it works, and making them smaller would have been way too small, so I think bigger was the better choice. But yeah, just swiveling him around. As you can see, he is a pretty clean figure. The backpack is accurate, and there's no real extra junk hanging off, so that's good. And he is so massive, he doesn't even fit into frame. I have to keep panning the camera up and down. But yeah, I like how it got the backpack to collapse up like that. And I think I got a lot of the details on here right. He does also have some decent articulation and weapons. Let me just show him with his swords. So, swords, they just tab into the jumper plate hands, and you know, they just hang there. So yeah, now he has his blades that you can, you know, slice people up with and stuff, like Optimus, and he'll have the satisfaction of destroying Optimus. Yeah, I guess that's that. Just a short articulation, just to make it a little bit easier. I'm gonna take these swords off, and there he goes, falling backward again. Not today, sir. The issue with him falling backward is that his thighs and hips are connected by one stud joints, and he's pretty top heavy, so that is an issue. But doesn't take a lot to put him back together if he falls over, and he is pretty easy to get standing up anyway, so I don't think it's too big of an issue. But anyway, for articulation, yeah, this is gonna be an issue. Hold on. All right, here we go. Oh yeah, also here's a look at his head. So yeah, I think I got a lot of the details right on here. I think it looks pretty nice, but like I was saying, his head does swivel all the way around. And you may think his shoulders may not be able to move outward, but you are poorly mistaken because I've engineered it so that they can move outward. You simply just swivel this ball joint bar section away from the body and move it up. So let's see how high, there's the mechanism by the way. Let's see, here's how high you can actually move his arm up. And there goes his backpack. But yeah, that's pretty decent for his giant Ultra Magnus arms. But Megatron is a decently tall guy, so this is kind of all the range he needs. So you know, just to put it back into place, just push it in like so. So yeah, he also moves his arms out pretty decently far as well. Not too much because the backpack is definitely in the way. This will be a little bit easier to show on the other arm since the fusion cannon's in the way. But he does have a bicep swivel, just like so, and a double jointed elbow bend. So there's that, and there's one last piece of articulation that I'm really proud of on his arms. He has a full unhindered wrist swivel. So yeah, how that works is that and this, you combine it, and he gets a wrist swivel. So here he is in another pretty cool pose. Maybe I could have replaced this brick with a couple of plates to make it look like he had fingers. Maybe you can do that. I think it would have been too much though. It would have been like, yeah, it would have been too much. Too many fingers. But, I don't know, would have looked cool. But yeah, like I was saying, his wrist swivel does move all the way around. So that is pretty nice. Another thing you can do with his body is a full unhindered waist swivel. Just demonstrating that. It is on one stud. So it is definitely prone to breaking. But if you do handle it right, as you've shown me right now, it works pretty well. It's stable and it works, like I said. And just showing how the waist swivel works. That's how it works. So yeah. So there you go. This also might be easier to show without the upper body, because it is pretty heavy. And it's just easier to grip like this. But his hips do have universal range. I'm only putting them up to, actually, let's see. Let's see how well this goes. Who wants to tab in? Legs can kick up or back that far. Now let's see how far they can kick up. And they can kick up that far, and he's keeping it. That's actually very surprising to me. He is keeping that kick, and it is a very good kick. And outward, yeah, just about that much. Pretty decent range. And of course, thigh swivel, unhindered. How's this go? There you go. And yeah, there we go. Alright, and as for his knee bend, you can just move that forward like that, and back like that. Normally, it would just be like this, but you can account for the fact that the section that would be preventing him from getting a farther knee bend is on a bar. I don't know if you can see that, it's really dark. But since it's on a bar, it can be shifted down, which means you can get an even deeper knee bend, which I will attempt to show. So yeah, I believe this is the deepest knee bend that this figure can get. And it does result in pushing his heel down. But I don't know, if he's like moving his knee up this high, I don't think he'll be perfectly planted on the floor anyway. So, yeah, I guess while we're here, the heel does move. And, yeah, maybe it'd be better to show on the other leg since it's not all kneed up, if that makes sense. But, the heel, move down, it does that. Can't move out or anything like that because the section's in the way, keeping it in place. Front foot does actually move down. And, of course, it's got the full ankle pivot as it should. So, yeah. There you go. That is all the articulation. And I guess one more feature the figure has, since he was ahead for most of the first season. Yeah, his head comes off, of course, because it's Lego. But, yeah, that's his head. Here's Megatron with Hasbro stuff. Here's the Lego stuff comparison without Bumblebee. And now here it is with Bumblebee. Here is Optimus and Megatron about head to head, and I think this is a decently accurate scale. It's definitely not entirely accurate. Of course, I couldn't just make Megatron as tall as I wanted him to be, because I have to consider how other things would scale and how many pieces I'll need to use and stuff, so I think this is a pretty good approximation. And finally, Megatron is about 18 studs tall, and I will see you guys next time.